Hello folks, welcome back to Huevember Day 13. We're getting back into the neon green this time. Starting off now with that photosensitivity warning as always, and I have to warn you guys, I screwed up on this one. Halfway through the video, the canvas to the right hand side is going to shrink a little bit. I completely forgot to resize it when I came back to the sketch to do the line art and coloring. My fault, so sorry about that. I did this once already and I'm doing it again, and this one is my bad. Anyway, for the character we're doing today, he doesn't even have a name. I didn't even give him a name for this one. I've just been calling him Snake Boy because he's got a big old snake tattoo that actually moves around like his little pet sort of thing. And he is our first character of Huevember that doesn't come with any sort of story or a background or a universe or anything like that. He is just kind of his own one-off character just for aesthetic and drawing purposes, and I love him. He's kind of in the same vein as I've got two other characters that are going to be coming later in the month that are also not part of any universe or story, and they've all kind of got the same feeling of like fun to draw, kind of sexy monster characters, kind of cool, sexy monster characters. I just think they're really fun. So Snake Boy in my mind is kind of like a demon character, and I had this idea for a story a while ago where the villain had like a tattoo of a snake that could, oh, there we go. The canvas is going to be tiny for the rest of the video now, and I apologize about that. And the snake could move around his body and like leave his body and go do evil deeds and stuff like that. That story never really went anywhere. I didn't get anything beyond that initial concept, and I scrapped it a while ago. So instead, I just gave that concept to Snake Boy here. You can kind of see in the sketches, he's got that snake coming down his arm and is going to have its mouth open on the palm of his hand. And this one was kind of fun because in addition to not having a story, I did not have a solid design for this character either, so I was able to just kind of mess around with the color and the aesthetic a little bit. Once again, starting off with the block coloring here, and over this one, I'm also going to be doing the tilt shift foreshortening trick that I love to do. You can kind of see if you look over at the panels on the left-hand side there, I've got three different groups going. It's the foreground, middle ground, and the background. The only thing in the background group is the tail. The middle ground is the character himself, and then the foreground is just that hand reaching out. And at the end, when everything is all colored and shaded, I'll go in and combine those groups, and on the foreground and background layers, I'll put a Gaussian blur, just ever so slightly, just to make them seem sort of out of focus. And it creates this really cool tilt shift effect that pushes your focus away from those distances and pulls it towards the center ground where the main part of the character sits, which I think is such a cool effect, and it really gives your art a lot more life and dimension to it. Once again, we're going back in with that intense lighting. Took a break from it for a couple pieces there, but I couldn't resist for this one. This is just such a dramatic character. He needed the really intense dramatic lighting as well. So we returned to our old tried and true technique of just putting a solid multiply layer over the entire canvas and erasing the parts that I want to be highlighted. Just going in there now with everything as always. And then I will go back in with a shadow, which I'll do in a second here, on all the layers. And then after the shadow, I will go back in for a third time with some really intense highlights to kind of reflect that fire coming off his hand there. And you're probably already thinking this pose looks familiar, and it's because I used it for Michael a couple episodes back, another neon green drawing. And I wasn't entirely pleased with how it turned out, so I'm retrying the pose with this one. And I think I did a little better this time. Hiding that back shoulder really makes it a bit more of a dramatic angle for this character. And I'm still not 100% satisfied, but I do think this is a huge improvement from my first attempt. Going in with that highlighting now. Just that neon green, really bright highlight. Get all the edges that are facing that fire, which is going to be the main light source for this piece. I'm just waiting to catch that blur effect so I don't... Here we go. There we go. So there's the blur effect. You can see the hand in front and the tail in the back are just slightly out of focus now. And that is my Snake Boy character. I still, as of this recording, have not thought of a name for him, so I would love to see suggestions in the comments if you have any. But that is day 13 completed, and with that we're finished with our neon greens. Tomorrow's challenge is going to be a more neutral green again, and if you would like to see that video now, you can check it out on my Patreon under the Video Star tier, along with tons of other early and exclusive access content. And lastly, if you're looking for more ways to follow me on my art journey, you can do so on Instagram and TikTok. I'm posting once a day for the month of November. And I will see you all back here for tomorrow's video. Bye!